Hey, it's Steven from Steven's Classic Garage, and welcome to video number 4 on the Harbor Freight Spectrum Black Widow review. So I just sprayed my first panel with it, which is the underside of this hood. This is for my 1965 Mustang. It is a reproduction hood, and it is sprayed with the Duplicolor Paint Shop Molten Red Metallic, which is a lacquer. That's about anywhere between $18 and $20 a quart, and that is finished off with some two-part Smart Classic, which is a 4-to-1. So that is a Smart brand. It's also similar to the 5-Star Extreme Classic clear coat as well. So gun sprayed excellent. It's over here cleaned. So what this video is not exactly about the finish, and I'm going to explain why. The finish is not going to be that great on this because I didn't spend very long prepping it. I only spent about an hour sanding the bottom side of this, and I used to use this spray gun as a primer gun, but I'm probably going to get another Harbor Freight gun to spray primer because that stuff sprays it on like asphalt and it's really bumpy. And so I should have spent, if it was like a show car, I would have spent multiple hours sanding it down and getting it all nice and flush on the bottom side of this hood here. In this case I didn't. I gave myself 1 hour and I sanded it down as hard as I could with 400 grit sandpaper to get it as good as possible. So a lot of what you're going to see here is probably transferred from the paint underneath. So here I'm looking at my my screen here. It does look better on camera than it is in real life in actuality. It's pretty good. I think it's as good, if not better, than my Warwick 904. So again, here's the gun, the Black Widow HTE. I'm running the HTE version. I'm shooting at 29 psi. And man, does this thing eat through paint. So let's go ahead and talk about my thoughts on the gun, and then we'll go back to the finish. Number one, it has a heavy trigger pull, but it's buttery smooth. Sorry about that, I kicked my thing. It has a heavy trigger pull, but it is buttery smooth trigger pull. So I noticed when I first shot the base coat, I did get some fatigue on my wrist, the wrist muscles and the tendons. Then again, I am sick and I have missed this week of the gym, so that is to be expected that those tendons will be weak because I've been spending a lot of time at my computer. So I will get used to that heavy trigger pull, but the trigger pull is buttery smooth. It's got a really good action, and it lays down the clear coat and the base coat. So what I saw was that it did indeed step back for the clear coat, because the base coat, it was coming down way quick. I was worried that with the clear coat being thinner, that it was going to lay it down too quick, and it was going to, if I was pitched at any angle or whatever, it was just gonna wash it out and it was just gonna run instantly. That did not happen. It ran the same for base coat and clear coat. I was running the the material nozzle, which is the material screw, which is the one that goes behind the needle. That was full open, so I was full open the entire time while spraying. Not a problem. Now, if we look at some of our spots here, here's a clear coat spot. You can see it's pretty much very nice and narrow here, perfect. Now, I will agree with some of the people on the internet. It does have a more of an ellipse shape, so it's wide in the middle and it narrows up towards the top and the bottom. But you can see here, perfect, not like more down on the bottom or up on the top. It's pretty well balanced. If anything, it's a little heavy on the bottom, but that could have been from my pitch of my hand if I wasn't perfectly level with the paper. But you can see over here with this is the clear coat that I shot here. It's really good with the clear coat. This thing shines with clear coat. So compared to the 904 Warwick, which again that came from that was from originally from the guy who learned auto body and paint. So what are my thoughts on that one? I think that it is I think it is as good, or if not better. Base coat shoots down very similar, if not a little better. Clear coat, I believe, does shoot down better. So I'm pretty impressed with it right now. Again, we're not really going to go too much on the finish of this. When I do the underside of this guy, or some sort of finished panel, that's when we will go off of looking at the finish to judge the gun. That's when I'm hitting with 600 grit. It's buttery smooth. The primer's buttery smooth. It's been guide coated. Everything's nice and flat. And I prep the room way better. Do like 6-7 cycles on the compressor, getting everything down, water the floor, etc. So that's when we'll go off of the finish. And here, getting used to the gun, I did get some orange peel in some spots, because once you start, if you have to stop, then you're in trouble. So in this case, I had to stop to mix some more clear, and right then it's starting to harden here. So actually, but it looks like this clear is amazing. It flattens out like crazy. There should be some wetness stuff over here of where it got dry, because I ran out of clear right about here. And that's when I didn't. That's when I had to restart. And whenever you restart, that area there, the kind of fog-in area at the top, you'll see it there. But it looks like it flattened out perfectly. So thus you cannot see that I had to remix some more clear to go. I used almost 750 grams of clear, or about 3/4 of a kilogram of clear on this guy. It does seem like it does have about the same, if not more, transfer efficiency than my other gun. But it seemed like it had less because I was just moving way faster, because it's just laying down so much more paint. But it seemed that it had the same, if not better, transfer efficiency. So maybe 80% or so, I would say, for this gun. So that is good. And I did find out that indeed this cup is transparent, semi-transparent, semi-opaque, so you can see how much fluid you have in there while you're shooting, if you have enough light around. So heavy trigger pull lays down the paint. You just run with it. The does have the pressure on the backside. I left the pressure pretty much wide open for the best atomization. I'm running 29 psi over there. I'm gonna mess around with that a little bit more on this gun. The pattern is very, very sensitive. The pattern dial is very sensitive. It turns almost 2 full turns. I believe it's almost like 2 full turns, so it is very sensitive. You only need like a 20-degree change. Otherwise, next thing you know, you're shooting a giant pattern. So just small adjustments there will do wonders. And then you can adjust your air. Everything's right there on the back or the side of the gun. So overall, a great shooter. I think it's as good, if not better, than the Warwick. And now I'm gonna tell you one thing that happened, reason why I wanted to get this gun in the first place. This is an example of what happened and why I bought this gun. When I was cleaning the first time after base coat, I accidentally turned the lock ring upside down, and I forgot that the lock ring and the air cap are 2 different pieces, and the air cap fell and bounced off my tripod, and then bounced off this metal bar and went underneath the table. And I don't know if you could see that right there, but it damaged the air cap there, because this is just a piece of brass, and brass is very soft. So you can see there it put a dent in the air cap right there, and at the same other side it also now has a ding right there. And when you hit material like that, it pushes it out on the side, and I don't know if you guys could see, but there is a taper on the side. Luckily, I don't think it's leaking, and it's still performing well, but that's an example. So let's say, and that was like the first day. So let's say I bought a $300 gun that I was originally looking at, $340 gun. Then I have to pay, I can't buy the air cap separately, I have to pay $80 for a nozzle, an air cap, and a needle assembly. Now, if I wanted to, I could go tomorrow and go get a new gun and have a new gun ready to spray a door or whatever I'm going to work on this weekend. So overall, it is a great sprayer. We are going to judge it on a panel that is prepped fully, and that will be our judge. But overall, control amazing. I love the swivel. The swivel's amazing that I could just grab the hose and move it around and unkink it. It cleans amazing, super easy to clean. The cup, because it's plastic, super easy to clean. You can see through the cup, see how much material you have. The feel is amazing, pull is buttery smooth, and also the return, because it's got that strong spring, the return is also really good as well. It closes up really quick, and so you could have that nice response. So it's not as spongy as my old gun. So yeah, that is my overall thoughts. This will all be rehashed at the end, and also maybe in the next video I'll rehash quite a bit of this, but this will also be, all this will be rehashed during the final video, which is the review. So probably 3 more videos. First we're going to have a review on a prep panel, and then we're going to return it and